So ninjas, what we're going to be talking about right now is the no-list targeting 2.0. Now this is an incredibly improved version of the no-list targeting 1.0 that I've shown in the previous version of this lesson. So right now make sure that you have all of your notes ready, because right now we're going to dive deep into something that's seriously unheard of before. Alright, so let's get started. Here's what we're going to talk about. First is going to be using the research forms. Next is going to be using the demographics, the psychographics, and then we're going to have our special two segments right here, which are the Ninja Psychographics research and then the salary-based targeting. Last but not the least, we're going to be talking about the golden line and finally setting this all up in the ads manager. So let's get into it. Using the research form. Make sure that you have this form open along with your side, because we are going to be using that as a guide. Now, along with that, make sure that you have your past sales history data from your developer or brokerage if you're able to get that. However, if you don't, then it's okay. We can still proceed with this. But if you have both of those, then it will be a lot easier for us to get results with this. Demographics. Demographics is the most basic part of targeting. This is basically where you go ahead and target based on the location, the age, gender, and the language. At least that's what's available there in the initial part of the detailed targeting section in Facebook ads. Now we will go over our data and use it to place in our saved audience over on Facebook, and I'll also share along the way the kinds of tricks that we do on the demographic side. And also I'm going to be sharing to you like how we're pretty much layering this down all the way up until we get to the salary based targeting. Alright, so here we're now in the business manager. Right here, we're in the ads manager level. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to be adding in the demographic side of what we got from our research. And I actually chose another project right here. This one's called DMCI Oriana. So the main reason why I chose this one in particular is because right here I happen to have access to a past sales history data that came directly from the developer. That's what I'm going to use so I can really explain in detail how we're going to be able to produce this kind of audience from start to finish. So right here, if you're familiar with how this looks, we're just gonna go straight to the demographic side. This one's pretty much what I got from my research right here. As you can see, I still definitely haven't been able to get all of the answers to this, but pretty much have enough data to be able to run this one. This is the demographic side. We have the age ranges, so from 31 to 40 has the biggest percentage of buyers, in 41 to 50, so pretty much ranging from 21 to 30 all the way to 50. So what I can confidently say right here is we're gonna target an age range between 25 to 50 right here. So that's our target age range, and we're just gonna select all genders because it's almost evenly split between male and female, and we're going to also include both of these, so both single and married people. And we're also going to make sure to include this that they're college graduates and graduate school people. And then we're going to talk about how we're going to be able to target these kinds of people right here. And we also happen to have the locations of these people right here, both local and international. And yeah, since we have international buyers, pretty much we have more percentage of local buyers versus OFW buyers. Yeah, with all of that said, let's go ahead and transfer all of these into our ads manager. Right here, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to be creating a campaign. I'm just going to go here to all tools and audiences. I want to be able to save this audience for later use. So once we're already starting to build out our campaigns, I want to be able to use this right here. So I'm just going to build this audience right here on the audiences tab. So I'm going to make a saved audience right here. And this is basically what we're able to see. So what I'm going to name this is my Mariana audience. And let's go here. So earlier we said that we're going to be targeting between the ages of 25 to 50. The next part that we're going to be targeting first is going to be these places right here. So QC, Manila, Las Piñas, Cavite, Bulacan, Rizal, and Makati. So how we're going to do that is we're just going to X this out. Now we're going to start with Quezon City, Metro Manila, then hit that and do that. Then next one's going to be Manila, then turn that into current city only. Then next one is Cavite, current city only. Make sure there's are people living in this location. Bulacan, Rizal, Makati. There we go. Put that into current city only, and then we have 3.8 to 4.5 million. Alright, so now it's time to go ahead and narrow this down. The first one that we're going to check is these, the marital status and the educational level. I'm going to use this, browse demographics, relationship status, want them to be married or single, and also in a relationship. How many people do we have? 1.8 to 2.1. And then next for the education level. So we have this, then we have this. Might as well throw this one in as well. Alright, so how many people do we have? We have 2.2 to 2.6. Alright, so that's the first level that we're going to do. So this purely demographic side right here. The next part that we're going to be talking about is going to be the psychographics. So let's get back there onto that video. Psychographics. Here in psychographics, this is where we capture the likes, the interests, and the hobbies of the people that we're targeting. Now, it allows us to be more specific with our targeting and narrow down the people that you want. Now, this might be super simple, but capturing the likes, the interests, and the hobbies of the people, it's pretty much basic, because now this is going to be something that you've already done because you've filled this out already in your research form, but we're going to take it one step above. Ninja Psychographic Research. Now, after you've figured out the list of likes, interests, and hobbies of our prospects right here, sometimes it's still a shallow or surface level type of interest that's going to show. And we need to go even deeper than that. And that's where deep research comes into play. Now, we're going to find unpopular cross interests and deeper interests that's related to the main interests in hopes of trying to go to the most niche interest that we can target, so that we're able to go deep and go under the radar against our competition and still get lots of qualified leads. How we're going to do this is we're going to go through Google search suggestions, and also with Google Trends, and finally on Facebook detailed targeting suggestions. So with that said, let me just share my screen. Right here, we're going to be talking about the psychographic parts, the likes and dislikes of the prospect right here. Now, unfortunately, right here, we weren't able to really put in the likes or dislikes of the prospect right here, but basing on what I remembered for this particular project that we did before, so what I got right here was almost similar. So by the way, this is the onboarding sheet that I have for one of my clients, and I'm just using this based off of what we got right here. So the market brief, this is pretty much also like a psychographic question. So what does the average paying customer look like? Describe in detail. If you have a sales analysis document, you can also send a link here. So right here, One Sierra and Fairlane, both of them are around the vicinity of Mandaluyong, which is not really in the same location as this project right here, because this one is actually in QC. But as for what my client had described, it's pretty much the same with these ones right here that he described for this. So since we can both categorize them in the mid-market. So this one's pretty much from, let's say, around 7. Hold on. There we go. They only sell 2-bedroom units, and it costs around 6.8 to 9.1 million. So this is around the mid-market section. What we're going to do is we're going to base it off this one because the Project One Sierra and Fairlane are also mid-market. Fairlane is a mid-market. This one's entering the mid-market to high-end projects. So right there. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to base it off this one. So young professionals, small families with office or business in the surrounding area. So what we're going to start out with is basically a narrowed audience right here. And this depends on you, but for the sake of being more organized, what we're going to do is we're going to add all of these psychographic interests right here. So what I'm getting from that, since they're young professionals and small families with offices around the area or businesses around the area, what we can start out with that is going to be small business owners. Now, one thing that you can do is to have the algorithm give you all the answers that you're looking for. What we're going to do right here is we're gonna just click on suggestions. As much as possible, we're going to be using similar stuff to what we have right here based on the description right here of small families with office or businesses in the surrounding area. Businesses in the surrounding area, one of the things that would be cool about it is we're now going to be using some of the Ninja psychographic techniques, which is going to be doing deep research. So let's go to maps.google.com, since this is what they're saying right here, small families with office or businesses in the surrounding area. Also, young professionals probably within the surrounding area. We're going to search Oriana Project 4, and there we go. So we've got a condo here. Basically, you'll be able to see all the nearby businesses. So there's a lot of banks, restaurants. This is a printing press, so a small business, a high school and an elementary school, so people nearby. I'm just not sure that they'd be able to afford such a project right there. All right, so just by judging from the vicinity area and trying to judge which kinds of businesses and other establishments are nearby, we're able to figure out a few things that we can use for targeting. So going back right here into our ads manager, so we have targeted small business owners because that's what we've seen. Behind right here is tons and tons of small businesses around the area. And let's go back here. So let's see, go here to browse, go to demographics, work, let's go to industries. I know that there was one in sales. There's some pharmacists in the area. So as you can see, we have something like that right there. We're still above 100. Alright, so let me just transfer all of these over there. Small business owner, business and finance, sales. And by the way, both of those were in demographics, not interests. Health and medical services. I think installation. I'm not sure if this is qualified enough, but I've seen some in the area, but that doesn't mean that they're really going to be qualified enough. But yeah, so I'm just going to delete all of these because by the time that we might be finished, we might be seeing lesser numbers here. So we're just going to be careful. So I just placed all of these into one level right here. So later on, what we're going to do is we're going to be doing tackling the other side, which is going to be the interest side right here. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to use Google Trends to make sure that we're really able to go into deeper keywords than what we're just usually seeing here. So what do we have? Business and finance. So let's go here, search term. All right, so lots of people searching for Mimaropa related topics. So as you can see, you have a lot of other keywords right here that aren't really usually going to show up in the suggestions right here, not unless you really have to dig for it. So cash management, there's financial accounting, it's a field of study. We're just going to open them up all in different tabs right there, and I'm just going to click next. Goods and services, taxpayer might be good, capital expenditure. And by the way, these are things that small business owners usually like to dive into. All right, I think I want to search a different term, or just small business. Now let's go right here. Investor, that's a good one. Vision, mission statement, operations management. All right, so let's go here. Let's see a bunch of stuff. So it's kind of okay. So got financial accounting, got cash management, sustainability, taxpayer, capital expenditure, financial capital, accounts receivable, investor, operations management, revenue, financial management, account. Oh, and we're back in the first one. All right. So what I would recommend you to do is to start searching these terms right over here. Let's say financial accounting. And there you go. You have financial accounting. Now, that's not something that you would normally find or think of once you're trying to target real estate people right here. So people who are into financial accounting. All right. So these aren't really doing much right here. So what we're going to do is just type in investor right here and open up suggestions again. And then we'll still be able to see a lot of other stuff right here. Add a little bit of this into the mix. Didn't really budge, but yeah. So basically that's how you use Google Trends, or actually even Google search for that matter. So if we just go ahead and go to google.com. So if we go here, small business owners, then you might see a lot of those other stuff right there. Or if you go ahead and search for investment space, then you'll just have you might just encounter interesting uh, some pretty interesting related searches right there, and go ahead and try to figure out, find. So I went into the second page and you can see a lot more stuff right here. So like that. So yeah, now let's go back here. Let me just go ahead and let me just go ahead and type out everything that we've done so far. We're going to draw a line right here. So this one's going to be our research. This one's going to be company data. All right. So far with our own research, what we find for the psychographics part is definitely we found small business owners. We've also found investors. We've also found people who's in sales, pharmaceuticals. Maybe that's something that we should add. Oh, there we go. Healthcare and medical services. So we've already added that there. Now, the next part there is going to be another layer. So once we've already used our Ninja psychographics stuff, so we were able to go deeper into some of these stuff right here. For small business owners, some of them are into accounting. Now actually, let's go ahead and fire up Google Trends again. So let's go back here. So for investors, so financial literacy, government, cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency can be good. Cryptocurrency. Then you get in stocks. So let's see, inflation, assets, all that stuff. And yeah, you can just pretty much figure that one on your own. So for sales, let's go here. Company, financial asset, strategy, profit, marketing, expense, since that's not working well, I can just go ahead and use persuasion right there. Not sure if that's something that's going to come up here. It's a film. All right. So it's something like that. Here's something. Thesaurus. Just go ahead and search synonyms of the word. So persuasion. There you go. There's conversion. And boom. So we have conversion optimization, conversion marketing, and all that stuff right there. But I'm just kind of holding back just to make sure that we're still keeping this relevant to what we're selling in the first place, which is this Quezon City property right here. You can kind of see what I'm trying to do right here. Going back here, this can either be company data or the onboarding sheet of client right there, or it can be the three of those. So if you have, the more that you have those, the better. So persuasion, pharmaceuticals can have medicine, something like that. So we have something that's narrowed down even more than what we have right here. And the best part of this is more people would want to target these stuff instead of these stuff. So you have a lot more people that are crowded in this space right here than they are in here, and that's targeting the similar kinds of audiences that are going to be interested in all of these stuff, and they're also interested in stuff like this. So with this, you're already flying below the radar because your competitors are pretty much targeting this stuff right here and instead of this stuff right here, which you now know how to do. So this is the edge that you will be getting for your targeting methods, because like I said, no one else is doing it. Now, the last part of this is going to be the salary targeting. So let's go back to the video and then let's go back here. All right, so the next part is going to be salary-based targeting. This is something that's very, very unheard of, but right here, I will break this down to you. So now that we've used the Ninja psychographic research, it's time to go even deeper into targeting via salary based. Now, this isn't really an option that you have in the detailed targeting section, but it's something that I have discovered. And now I'm going to be sharing it to you by explaining through the chart. So let me just quickly share my screen and show you how it's done. All right, so now that we're back here and the salary targeting part, if you're really curious at all as to how the heck we're going to be targeting people who are earning 50 to 80K and 180K above, so we can just focus morely in this, squarely on this one. We can still kind of insert these people right here or so. Yeah, now what are we going to do to be able to target those people right there? The most simple part is to just ask yourself, for the people who are earning 50 to 180K, are these people right here capable of earning this much right here, right? And if your answer is yes, then you've solved the first part of this. What other people do is, without being really careful about all these stuff, they would just insert a lot of unnecessary targeting that isn't really going to make a synergy between all of these stuff right here. So you need to have a synergy between the salary, your first level of research, and then your second level of research. If they all don't have a synergy between all of these, then it's just not gonna work out as well. Okay, so that's pretty much the first level of salary-based targeting. Now, since that's just the first level of the whole salary-based targeting, and the reason why I placed another line right here is this. So right here, these are still pretty much the interests of people who are earning these much. But what you don't realize that we have right here in our possession is the power of this, behaviors. This is a pretty powerful thing to be able to help us pre-qualify all of the stack of the people that might be interested in all these stuff as well, but aren't necessarily earning this one, because interests can just be interest and anyone can be interested in all of these right here. So even student, they're our students that are studying accountancy, there are people who don't really have money that are interested in cryptocurrency and stocks. And there are some other people who can't afford to buy our property that are interested in some of these or all of these as well. So how are we going to filter all of those? And it's just simply by using behaviors, because behaviors is the single most important factor that is going to separate the people who are actually living the life of the people who are earning this much right here. So let's go back right here on our ads manager and let's go to the behaviors part. So right here in the behaviors part, what I like to do is, when this is incredibly the most easiest part, is just going to travel and just checking this box, the frequent travelers and the frequent international travelers, those boxes right there, because people who don't earn this much aren't really able to travel as much as they should. And then one more thing that I like to do, which is a very stupid simple hack, is to target people who uses iOS. So access mobile iOS devices, Apple stuff. And something that's even better than iOS would be Mac OS. So people who have Macs for laptops right there. So Facebook access is going to be both Mac OS 10 and Mac OS Sierra. Even if those aren't really the newest versions, but if they're almost the most latest versions right there. So those right there are kind of simple hacks that you can use. One more thing that I still like to use even before is to just go ahead to behaviors again, and I like to click on expats right here. But since what we have right here is mostly people who are local, we don't necessarily need to target expats right here. But one more thing that you can go ahead and do is go ahead to consumer classification. Just go here to Philippines right here. People who prefer mid and high value goods in Philippines. So both of those. You can go ahead and just check both of those. And if you can see, we're still hovering around a healthy amount. Yeah, let me just go ahead and search for a lot of other stuff, more categories. Here's something that you can add: engaged shoppers, because they're mostly in the mindset that they always want to buy, and that's going to be a lot easier for you to go ahead and invite these people into site trippings as well. So basically that's how we make our no list targeting audiences right here. So the first one is to just gather your own research, and then use the Ninja psychographic research, and then lastly is to use the behaviors as well. Now the next part that we're going to be talking about is hitting the golden line. So let's go back to the video and then we'll meet you back right here. The winning golden line. Alright, so once we have everything now collected in place, we will compare this to the information that we have from the company's data or the client onboarding sheet. So once we see multiple similarities between our own research and the information that we have, then it simply means that we have hit the jackpot, or what I like to call as the winning golden line. Alright, so let me show you how this is really done. Alright, so now that we're back right here into this, what we're going to be talking about is how to get the winning golden line right here. So since we have here our research completed right here, now we're going to be talking about other side, which is either the company data or the onboarding sheet of the client. Company data, this is something that I have right here. So this is a demographic overview of the people from DMCI. So right here is what we've searched up earlier in the Google Maps. As you can see, these are the nearby cities, but what we're really interested in is this, the buyer's profile. So I've been able to get this gender, the civil status, age, and the monthly income as well. And this one's for the people who are in Infina. Now the reason why it's in Infina is because Infina and Infina Towers is just right here, and Oriana is right over here. This one's Infina, this one's Oriana. They're beside each other, so they share the same kinds of market right here. So these are where they live, and this is the locations of where they mostly work. And Satori residences, actually there's four DMCI residences in this area, and that's why they're able to really kind of copy the buyer's profile over to this one right here. Now I would appreciate this if they kind of share the data of like the job titles, the area that they work in, and all of the stuff. Oh yeah, this is the area that they work in. But I would appreciate if they gave more, but this is what we have so far. So what we only can get from this is this one. So the people who are earning this much. So what we can have right here, since we don't have much data that we got from the company's data, we're going to base this on the onboarding streak of the client. So as we have gotten earlier from our client, these people are young professionals. You just copy this one right here and then type this in. So young professionals or small families with office or businesses in the surrounding area. Since we don't have much info on the job titles, we're just going to be focusing on the business part right here. So in the surrounding area, what we've been doing is we've searched all over the area using Google Maps, and we were able to find all of these stuff right here. So the business owners, investors, sales, pharmaceuticals, and with just that, because we found proof that these people exist and people in the surrounding area were the ones who are buying the product that we were trying to create. So what we have already accomplished from here is going to be, hold on, it's just the absolute golden line right there. So since our data is matching what my client said that he wants, this is already a golden line right here because we've been able to successfully match everything right here. And if you are able to go ahead and get that, and as well as we've been able to prove that people who are interested in these or are in this industry are earning this one right here, we've nailed this one right here. So we've hit the golden line right here. And yeah, if you're able to reproduce the same kind of result, then that means that you're going to have a lot easier time with your targeting, because right now you're going to be targeting the exact type of people that your client wants to target. And with that said, let's go ahead and finish everything up right here. I want to clean this up in the way that I usually like to clean this up. And then let's set this up. The setup. All right, so now that we've pretty much figured out who we want to target using our demographics, our Ninja psychographics, and our salary-based targeting, and we've already hit the golden line out of doing all of those stuff, we're now ready to put all of those information right there into our detailed targeting. All right, so now let's go and hop into Facebook and let's set this all up. So welcome back. Let's go ahead and set this all up so that we can go ahead and use this as our no list targeting for this property right here. So let's go here. What I would like to do is to just bunch this all up. No, I'm going to transfer the demographics, the other behavior stuff right here. Business and finance, healthcare and medical services. And then you have sales. Right, so I'm just going to do this, and I'm just going to narrow this one further. Now, since we already have this, we've been able to already single out the demographic side. We've been able to really tone down this one right here. No, actually, let's do this. Let's also separate the behaviors part. Alright, so behaviors will be OS, Mac OS, OS X, OS Sierra, and then frequent travelers, frequent international travelers, because people in 180K per month can do that. How many people do we have? We have healthy amount. Then go here, it's too much to type. Consumer classification, Philippines, this and this, and then purchase behavior, engaged shoppers. Okay, so yeah, we have a healthy amount, and what we're going to do last is we're just going to insert a bit of real estate interests right here. So we already have the real estate investing right there. I'm just going to put this one right here, and I am pretty much done. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. Yeah, so that's how my audience would look like. So this is my no list targeting audience. Then I would put the estimated audience at 1.1 to 1.2 million, and then this one will be set at auto placement. Yeah, so basically that's how no list targeting 2.0 works. I hope that insanely detailed targeting tutorial helps you out, and with that said, I'll see you in the next video.